I remember you saying that you were not going to keep this beard for too long. When did you say you were going to cut it off?
I said well, I don't know if I told you, but this exactly, but when I got to a certain weight.
What would we do without the gay boy? What would we do? What would we do?
I mean, I told you when I first saw you this past summer, Conquistador. Oh, beautiful. I love it. But I didn't remember you saying that.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Hey, girl. Hey.
Welcome back. Thank you for tuning in.
Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. As always, you know you can get us on iTunes and Spotify. Email us at agendabegay@gmail.com if you want to tune in, have any topics for us, have any questions.
And always send us a little shout or follow us on Instagram at chic_chanteur
or at thedelon.com. Brandon and I were having a conversation off camera about life like we always do, which is why we have this show.
Mm-hmm.
And this came up.
Anxiety.
Because I feel like I'm suffering from it and I've never really have before in my life.
Yeah, and likewise. I've never had it really before. So, what made me realize that I have anxiety, which I think everyone does.
Yeah.
It just can hit people more or less in different ways, physically, mentally. So I first realized I had it when my older brother got sick at one point, and all of a sudden I started getting these chest pains. I was like, ooh, girl, that's what's going on, and I started getting nervous for myself.
Right.
So then I went to the doctor, and she told me, oh, that's probably from stressing and anxiety. And she gave me medicine, which completely backfired. I took it, and it made me more anxious.
You're kidding?
And then one of my best friends, he was like, yeah, that can actually happen. He's like, I'm not a fan.
With that drug specifically?
With that one specifically. And we didn't know. We know you have to try what's going to work for you.
Yeah, it's a
and I only think I took half of it. Too.
Oh, really?
But it just made me more anxious, and it like made it exacerbate, and I thought it was like dying.
I'm dying.
Yeah.
Did you go back and get something else, or were you just like, I'm done?
I was like, I'm done.
No shit.
I think I turned to marijuana. And
you know what?
And I was like, it's clean, it's natural, as long as nobody's tampered with it, and I'll just do that.
I just want to say, and it is medicine in that way.
Yes,
People use it that way.
It's medicinal.
Yeah.
But I remember I also had an attack where I was asleep and I couldn't move my arm. And I was
Brandon,
I was like, why? And I woke up and I was like, it's not moving. I was like, and I said,
and you were like, I'm trying to move it?
And I said to myself, I was like, don't worry. It's like, it's fine. It's like, just go back. And then my chest started to hurt again, and I was like, oh my God, I'm dying. I'm having a heart attack. And I jumped out of bed, looked for aspirin, because like aspirin's supposed to help you with heart attacks. And I was like, no, it just ended up being that was just like a panic attack or whatever.
Your limb went numb from a panic attack?
It's amazing what the mind and body will do.
Wow.
Also, something that happens for me is I get short of breath.
Really?
And it just happened right now because I'm talking about it.
Oh, shoot.
But it's fine. It'll go away.
When I was 30, I had my first panic attack ever, and it was in the heart of Manhattan. It's like on 45th and 10th. And all of a sudden, I didn't know what was going on. I started crying. I couldn't breathe.
Oh my God.
And I literally, this is so sad. But it's so scary.
Oh my God.
I like crunched down on the ball and I started screaming. I was like, oh my God, what's happening? And I was just screaming. And then I was like looking at my phone, trying, nobody would answer. My family, my mom, my sisters. And I was like, oh my God. It eventually subsided and I was like sitting there, a crazy man on the curb, 45th and fucking 10th. But I was like, oh my God, I have no idea what just happened. And like, to your point about the brain, it was just like, went crazy. I think I just constantly feel overwhelmed. And then I don't do anything. Then I'm like, I kind of just avoid things that need to get done. I do get the
Diarrhea.
Yes, I do. No, I do get diarrhea. Yeah, I have terrible stomach issues like I talked about before. When I was on tour, the stomach issues started, and I didn't know what it was, and it kept happening. And my gastroenterologist finally said it could just be stress. And I was like, I'm not stressed, but I was unhappy. I wasn't happy. And so that's how my body manifests it now. And when I had to have my colonoscopy last year, you're welcome for telling you that, viewers. When I had to have my colonoscopy last year, I was kind of, I got this new job and I didn't know what was happening. But again, I was like stressed and my stomach was fucked up. It's manifested in my stomach. That's really, really funny.
And I do know a lot of people that also deal with this anxiety, depression regularly. And going into this episode, I also kind of was feeling, I was excited. I was glad we were going to do it, but I was also like, I wanted to kind of caveat, say, I'm no expert, I only know my experience, and I know that other people who have different experiences feel it very differently, are dealing with certain things. So respectfully, I say, I see you as well, and I know your experience is different from mine. We're just bringing it up as a part of conversation to have.
Nobody teaches you how to deal with that, and when you're dealing with it alone, if you're unable to express that and give voice to it, it's just in your noodle. It's just you hearing the monologue over and over again, which just sinks you deeper and deeper into it. I do love this movement on social media. I've seen it a bunch on Instagram where people are like, here I just started taking anxiety meds or depression meds, and it's changed my life for the better. And like I used to have the stigma about them because asking for help is really hard. I love that because we're also using social media not only to project how great our lives are or this what we want our lives to seem, but we're giving it a three-dimensionality, which we need to.
As an outsider, you don't have all the answers. And all you can say is, I'm here if you need me. I support you. I believe you. I see you. And that's I think part of the battle.
That's so important. It allows you to take that next step, then the next step to keep going, Because in my own new anxiety kind of awareness, I don't know how to deal with it. I just told you off camera. I was like, maybe I need medication. Maybe that's something I might want to like tap into and see how it works for me. I know that there's an argument that our society is super over medicated, and but what helps you helps you.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And someone's medication might be yoga. Someone's medication might be spending time with family, marijuana. It might be whatever. Running. You have to find out what it is for you. So I'm just saying, like, maybe that might be something that might work for me. I don't know.
And medically speaking, medication is a way to get a handle back on things. Because that's part of the fear too, that just kind of exacerbates it, I think, is like not knowing how to handle it can exacerbate the feelings, right?
Yes.
And so
I'm anxious, I can't deal with it. I'm anxious. I'm more anxious.
Yeah. Yes. Things can be too much.
Yep.
Things can be too much. And even when they're good.
Yeah. Oh, wait a minute. That is some real tea. Even when they're good, they can be too much.
And you have to take it. Something has to go sometimes.
Oh, that girl that's singing in so good. That's good. So soak it in.
So yeah, it is. It's definitely, I think, got me a little twisted. Certainly,
and not in that good way.
Not in that good way. And there's no time for that good way.
I know. Well, and that's that boredom thing. Find time for that for the twist.
You got you. Again, per usual, it's just kind of scratching the surface. Even for us, we're kind of both just experiencing anxiety for the very first time.
Yeah.
And the way it's manifesting for us in our 30s, it seems like it's creeping in, and it's good to talk about it so that we can start dealing with it.
Yeah. Again, if you have anything to offer us, please let a bitch know.
Suggestions and your stories.
Yes.
I'd love to share a story if someone has one that feels like could be helpful for others.
Yeah.
Like we said earlier, this whole social media thing is great to share and let people know, like, hey, happens to me too. I found that this is a thing. Or have you ever heard of this? Because this is really awesome when you're dealing with blah, blah, blah. Please let us know.
Tips and tricks.
Absolutely. He's a trick.
And she takes tips. I love you. Oh my god. Oh gosh. Please remember to subscribe. As you know, we're here every week on iTunes and Spotify as well as YouTube.
And please find us on Instagram at chic_chanteur
or at thedelon.com. Until next week, this has been Whose Agenda?
Your Agenda.
My Agenda. Our Gay Agenda.